All right, as with that, hey, we have another Raven here. Is it okay
Yeah.
if we just jump into this
Yeah.
one too? Okay, this
Absolutely.
was sent to us on our website here. This is from Linda.
Yeah.
Okay, and she said, This is from Linda. Subject is Benjen Stark. This is my first Raven, so I'm a little nervous. I've been listening to your podcast since before season 8 aired, and I was excited that you guys were going to do a reread. I was a show watcher only at the time and had never read the books before, so I thought I would follow along with you guys. I'm currently a bit ahead of you. I just finished the chapter in A Storm of Swords where Mira and Jojen and Bran tell the story of the Night of the Laughing Tree. After theories I've read and listening to your podcast, I believe that Lyanna Stark is the Night of the Laughing Tree. I'm also a firm believer in R plus L equals J, and this got me thinking. Do you guys think that Ned told Benjen about Jon's true identity? Also, do you think there is a deeper reason why Benjen joined the Night's Watch, or is it just because the Starks are pretty much the only house who view the Night's Watch as honorable? Sorry if this is kind of long, but I look forward to hearing your opinion. So, first of all, here, thank you, Linda.
Mm-hmm.
It's I love when we get these when people are like, I've been like lurker is the sort of internet term, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
you watch forever, but you never say anything or sort of
Right.
comment or anything. So I love the lurkers because I'm a lurker on a lot of things, a lot of people's YouTubes and stuff. Right, I've watched for years. I've never really left comments or anything. So, love those. And second of all, remember, yeah, we do also have a website, which is bendtheknee.com. Thank you, Sir Jimmy, for putting that together. And you can
Absolutely.
submit Ravens. You can submit Ravens and listen there as well. The podcast is up there as well. So, yeah, so this is definitely interesting here and we've talked about this before. Sort of, why do you think Benjen joins the Night's Watch, and do you think that Ned told him? So I think sort of immediately we don't know exactly. We know that Benjen joins sometime after Ned gets back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's sort of before. I think he goes. Correct me if I'm mistaken on this. I think he goes before the war starts. So he would be the third son, right, in a house where it seems like, okay, we know that um, the oldest son, Brandon Stark, is set to marry Catelyn Tully. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a major house to another major house, the Riverlands and the North. That seems like it was going to be a big lock in. You're set to go there, and then we broke this down in our major 4-part Tourney at Harrenhal Patreon episode, and it seemed like a lot of people were theorizing that one of the reasons that Ned sort of dances with the Shara Dane was because it seemed likely that Ned, being the second son, and you already have that major marriage alliance, would have then been able to marry some other house, pretty much any house that could be less sort of a strategic alliance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the Riverlands of the North, that's a major alliance, because most marriages occur sort of in your region or just outside of your region. They tend to be pretty significant sort of alliances, but perhaps maybe Ned with the Shara. I mean, you're talking Dorne and
Mm-hmm.
Winterfell. I mean, that's
Yeah.
I don't really know what strategic advantage that provides you in the idea of a war and of a realm that's been at significant sort of peace for pretty much 300 years, right?
Yeah.
So and so then the third would be that your youngest son Benjen would take the black, because that's sort of a northern thing and honorable. Now where it gets interesting though is that Benjen takes the black after Harrenhal, and Benjen didn't go to Harrenhal. He was he was the Stark who remained at
Mm-hmm.
Winterfell, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody else goes. But and then it seems like Benjen seems to know some things, right? Perhaps about his mother, and we'll talk when I get back, and a lot of these things. I do believe that Ned probably told Benjen. Because Benjen is his brother, and I think he knows maybe the difference between telling his brother as opposed to telling, even though Catelyn is his wife. We see him sort of get upset right there. I mean, he's still got some resentment, because I don't think he was not meant to marry Catelyn. Catelyn was because to be his brother's wife, but he ends up being the one to sort of take that role. So I think that if he trusts anyone in this world more than anybody, it's going to be Benjen. It's also Lyanna, which is their sister.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe that Benjen probably knows.
Well, yeah, that is important that during Robert's Rebellion, he is the Stark in Winterfell, and during Robert's Rebellion, it's he's so he's the second man, right? I mean, his eldest brother is killed. Ned is like battling and leading the Bannermen, right? Leading has called the banners, has met up with Jon Arryn and Robert Baratheon's rallying troops. These men are leading the battle, and they have people behind them in case they fall in battle. They're gonna, they're next in line. So now the line is, even though he has children, like he has these young children, normally if you're like that second son, the Night's Watch, I don't know. That's not really, once you go there, you can't come back to Winterfell and take over. So why the Night's Watch? Now, it said that, like, I think at the tourney at Harrenhal or whatever, that he, or somewhere, that maybe he heard the Night's Watch and their plea for aid and stuff like that, and he took that to heart or something. But I think there's more to it, because you have too many guys up there from House Targaryen at the Wall, people who were a part of the rebellion who then just took the black, and you have people prior to that who served Blood Raven, the Raven's Claw or the Raven's Teeth, right? They're all up there as well. And then you have Ned come back with this mysterious bastard son who is, we're going to go ahead and say it, son of Rhaegar Targaryen. And what happened? Did he come back with other Kingsguard members that were like, imagine this, Matt. Like, he comes back up there, and in secret, you've got Sir Arthur Dayne and Gerald Hightower and others who went north, and they go with and to protect. And Hallan Reed goes with them, or maybe Hallan keeps them, in the swamps and keeps them away from everybody's secret for a while. And after time, then they go with Benjen up to take the black or something. And Benjen's in on this whole scheme. Who knows? It could be that kind of complex, and there could be something more to it. But I think he knows. I think Benjen does know something for sure.
Right. Well, think about this too. The idea that Ned comes back after the war's over, and then he would have somebody to confide in, which could be Benjen. And then, so somebody else out there knows, and Benjen would be able to go to the Wall, and we get to see, he gets to travel. So, Benjen going to the Wall and being, a Stark and somebody that everyone's going to immediately like, will place him sort of high up in the ranks. And I'm sure it's not like just because you're at the Wall, like some people get to travel to the South, like, and we see this and recruit people and a lot of this stuff. But you could go much deeper into this, where if Ned comes back and he knows way more about it than, this is just sort of Jon Snow is like Lyanna's baby, and he's also potentially the king to the realm. We might learn more about the who knows what all said there. It might be more. He learns about the Song of Ice and Fire, and he learns about the potential, like, the White Walkers, and we got to save everyone, and this is the prince's promise and everything. If he tells Benjen that, it seems much more likely that Benjen's going to go to the Wall, because their entire family line is winter is coming. And if they truly believe winter's coming, the North is going to want to send people to the Wall. I mean, and go and absolutely go fight there, because I mean, it kind of doesn't make sense. So before, it makes sense that Benjen would go, because you're the third son, you go. When he comes back and now your dad and your other brother are dead, seems more likely, especially following a war, that you would want to marry Benjen off and secure another sort of strategic alliance, either to somebody. I mean, even if it's within your sort of reign, you're also best friends with the brand new king. I mean, Benjen Stark could go marry, Robert could sort of bless some marriage to, like, House Tully, or I mean, it could be a big significant marriage that he could be at peace for, but he still goes and joins the Wall. So it is definitely interesting, and I think a lot of it probably has to do with Jon.
Yep, definitely. 100%. And so great, Raven, great thought. I love to think back on Benjen and how he knows. And it's just, we've chased this, where is Benjen? Is he lost? That's been something that's been through all the books. Like, Jon is constantly seeking. They're thinking about Benjen. Is he gone? Is the cloak that's wrapped up, the Night's Watch cloak with the daggers, was that Benjen? There's just too much either call him dead or not. Like George has left him like mysteriously disappeared for a reason, right? You're gonna bring him back. We're gonna get answers. He's one of those people. Like we just said, we had a Raven about Barristan Selmy, or we were talking today about Barristan Selmy, and I feel like he's a holder of information for the Targaryen family. Benjen Stark is a holder of secrets that his brother came back and
He's a Howland Reed.
yeah, he's a Howland Reed. There it is. Yeah. So
Yeah, and I think that this is where I'm at on him. Ultimately, I believe that Benjen is alive, but I do not believe he has cold hands.
yeah,